Hello, welcome everyone. I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen so that we just pick it up from here. Screen. Okay, go back. Okay, let's pause this. Okay, let me know if you can hear me from there. So sharing, hide. Okay, I believe we can. You can hear me. If you can't hear me, just put something in the comment section so that I will know. But I think we are all good to go. The coast is clear. So welcome everyone. Today is Canada Day. So let's give a shout out. Happy Canada Day. If you're in Canada, from coast to coast to coast. Amazing celebration today. Canada 159, 159. That's a lot of years. So happy Canada Day from here in Regina. If you're, for those that are on TikTok, so I'm live streaming on YouTube as well. So if I'm not facing this side, just know I'm facing YouTube audience. I'm going to try my best to uh, serve my audience to the best of my ability. But yeah, so happy Canada Day. Happy Canada Day. Thank you. So let's dive right into the discussion for today. So I want to do a deep dive on the market. We know uh, it's been very volatile to say the least. There's a new Fed chair. For those that have been following the market, things are moving rapidly. There are uh, new events, new occurrences every day. Yeah, happy Canada Day. Happy Canada Day, Serge. Happy Canada Day. So yeah, we are, and it's been a long time. Like the last time I did a live stream here, YouTube live stream was like March or April. Yeah, probably about 3 months or so. So good to be back here. Yeah, let's see what we can cover today. So I'm going to be looking at gold, oil, Bitcoin, and SpaceX. What's going on there? How is this changing the narrative? How is this changing the market, so to say? If you are new to the market, if you're on TikTok, you are new to the market, well, you're going to have good understanding. None of this is financial advice. It's just my own opinion, my own analysis. So you have to do your own research. You have to do your own research. Very important. Never take what anyone says. Never. You have to find out for yourself. You'll do your research, find out what you should do and what you shouldn't do. I'm sharing my own opinion here. If you feel that's good, that's fine. If you disagree with me or you think, okay, I'm out of the water here, that's okay too. Whatever you say. So yeah, okay, let's dive right into it. So yeah, let's start with gold. It's been very volatile, and as you all know, gold is the standard. That's the standard. Everybody, when we are talking about security, safety, then we are talking about gold. You don't want no rapid movement. You don't want no fast move. You just want stability. You are security. Your asset is secure. Your saving is secure. Whatever investment you're doing is secure. Then you consider gold. But this year, or I would say 2025 and 2026, it's been super volatile, unlike the gold that we know. Like you see gold going up 30% or something. That's like we've not seen that before. So, and every time you see an asset do that sprint, fast move up, just know that there's going to be a fast move down. It's a given, right? So don't chase it. Don't chase it. Okay, uh you start chasing the asset, you start chasing the market, you are already on the wrong side because you will never catch that market. You're going to be on the wrong side, right? So what do? You just wait, sit back, relax. Don't be in a rush. Don't think you're missing out. It's actually called fear of missing out, FOMO. So never FOMO into the market. If you FOMO, then you're going to be the exit liquidity. That means you're going to be people will be selling to you and they walk away with your money. So you don't want that, right? So yeah, let's take a look here. So gold, of course, that's safe haven, right? Everybody consider gold as safe haven. Is it still safe haven? That's one of the questions we're going to look at today. Is gold still considered safe haven for investors, for those that are venturing into the market? Do you still consider gold as safe haven? Okay, then we look at oil. OPEC is there. A lot of politics going on, and I don't like going into politics, what is going on in the Middle East and all that. But of course, it's impacting our livelihood. Go to the gas station, you're buying at 165, 170, depending on where you live. So of course, yeah, we can shy away from it. It's impacting our lives. So, but yeah, I'm not going to spend so much time on oil because of the politics. But yeah, we're going to touch on that. Then we look at Bitcoin and crypto, right? What's going on? Post halving in 2024, another halving is coming up in 2028. So in between, what's going on there? It's good. It's been very volatile. One day you're at 90, was it 90, 96,000, 80,000, 60,000, back to 80,000. Now you're at 60,000 again. So what's going on? Are we at the bottom yet? Or is it still moving? There's institutional adoption as well, ETFs, inflow and outflow. For those that are on TikTok, I'm actually facing this side because of YouTube audience. So just bear with me for today. I hope you can see the screen. I don't think there's any way I can zoom it any better than bigger than this. So sorry about that. Okay, and lastly, we're going to look at SpaceX. The new is a new bride, so to say. That's a new bride in town, and there's been a lot of buzz around it. What's actually going on here in SpaceX? So yeah, it's already debuted, and it's on the stock market right now. Should you buy? What should you do? So I'm going to give you my own opinion on all of this. Okay, I'll also look at the interconnection. Is there a relationship between any of these? Gold, oil, Bitcoin, SpaceX. Do they interconnect? Is there intersections anywhere? So we'll look at that. And for the rest of 2026, with the new Fed chair, who's the new Fed chair? So let's see, new Fed chair, man, because I know it's no longer Power. So okay, Power has been replaced with Kevin. So Kevin Walsh is the new Fed chair. So that's a set interest rates and monetary policy, Federal Reserve. So that's going to impact the rest of 2026. With the new policy, are they going to cut interest rates? Are they going to hold steady? What they've been doing now for a couple of months? What's going to happen for the rest of 2020, remainder of 2026? Are you going to see some rate cuts? Hopefully the market will bounce again. But if it's a rate hike, then of course, investors will now seek for safe haven. So that's what you should know. Anytime there's a rate cut, then of course people take more risk. So okay, oh wow, that's good. It's good for business. They are putting their money out there. But when there's a rate hike, increase in the rates, and then people look for safe haven. You don't want to spend no money. You want to be reserved, conservative. You hold on to what you have because there's a lot of uncertainty, right? Okay, so let's where are we? Okay, so let's first of all look at it. So I've discussed some of this. I'm not going to go over them again. So we're seeing that geopolitical tension in the Middle East. I don't like talk about politics. So you all know what's going on there. You don't have to hear it from me. So interest rate decision, I just told you about the Fed chair. There's a new sheriff in town. So most likely there will be maybe new policies, Yeah. Inflation data. What's going on? Is it coming? Is it decreasing, increasing? Is it staying the same? Are we seeing what we saw in 2022? At all-time high, inflation was like 9. Was it 9? 9 or so, 9.2, 9 something. Yeah. So, and even in some countries, double digits. Yeah, major corporate debut like SpaceX. We're going to look at that as well. Okay. Hello, guys. Let me know if you can hear me or you're having an issue. Just let me know. Okay. So let's move on. I'm going to show you the charts, but before that, I just want to ensure that we're on the same page. I'll give you some background information before we dive into the charts. So what are the so now let's look at gold. What are the fundamental drivers? You see that central banks continue to accumulate gold reserve at elevated pace. So around 2024 and 2025, it's like there was a campaign. That's the best way to describe it. It's like there was a campaign for gold. Like people were buying golds in levels we've never seen before. And now, even people are still accumulating with because just like I mentioned earlier, gold is a safe haven. Security. When you're looking for security, then you're actually looking at gold, the gold standard. So hedge against inflation. Um, Although the last year, or yeah, between 2025 and 2026, we've seen some rapid movement in gold, which kind of an abnormal movement because it's supposed to be stable. It's just like the currency, right? Your currency. So if a currency value fluctuates like huge swings, just like the Canadian dollar to the US is about 70 cents, right? To one US. Yeah. No, one Canadian to say about 70 cents US. So if you are seeing a huge swing within a year, today you are one Canadian to 70 cents US, tomorrow you are one Canadian to 50 cents or one Canadian to 90 cents within 1 year, then there's a problem. There's a problem with that economy. There's a problem with that asset, whatever it is, because it's supposed to be stable, one to one, one to one Canadian to one US or one Canadian to 70 cents US, and just stay like that. Don't move, depending on the performance of the economy. But if we are seeing any wide swings, then there's a problem. So gold is supposed to be like that too, the same thing. If it's just constant growth, just like that. But we were seeing 30% movement in gold, 20% movement in gold. So that's abnormal. That's abnormal. Not supposed to be so. Okay. I'm going to show you the chart so that you see clearly what I'm talking about. Yeah. So due to the crisis in the Middle East, people have been moving to safe haven, right? Which is good. Price action remains tightly linked to the US dollar direction, of course. Yeah, I don't need to elaborate on that. I believe that's very clear. So, what is the technical framework? Just like I mentioned, since 2024, it's like there's been a campaign. Everyone has been buying gold, institutional accumulation, individual accumulation, people just rushing in here, buying gold. So looking at the trajectory for 2026, Q1, Q2, and even going towards Q3, is still kind of on that path. Although on the shorter time frame, there's been a decline. There's been a decline in the short time frame, but it's still moving upward. Okay, you got a flash. Okay. Thank you. Welcome. Right. Okay. Wow. What next here? So, okay, on gold. So let me show you the chart on gold before we leave this page. So let's look at gold. This is trading view for those that are not familiar with the charts. So just go on trading view, you find whatever you're looking for when it comes to charts analysis. So let's go find gold. So gold is here. Click on gold. Okay. So in when was this? In April, I think, yeah, between March and April or so, I did one of my live stream. Yeah, one of the live streams in, yeah, it should be March or April. Let me hide this. So in one of those live streams, I did this. We drew this out. That was around April, yeah, early April. That gold will likely form a lower high. If it forms that lower high, then of course it's going to retest this level. This has been on since, like, I drew all this since March or February. Yeah, around February, March ish. So, but I did mention that the base here, the support is at 4,000. If it breaks 4,000, look at what happened between September of 20, yeah, between August of 2025 to October of 2025. Then the fast move up, then form a little bit of a range here. So that's where we are. If I increase this, if you can move this up here, so you can see that we are right in the range. And this is where you want to be. For gold, you don't want to lose this range, you know, because the moment you lose this range, guess where you're going to be next? Right here. Here, this is the next support zone. So I'm going to let's draw a new, so you can put a new line here. Okay. Regression. Let me see, you can put a line. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Delete. Let's duplicate this. Okay, just gonna move this one. So right here. So your next support is here. And now we are looking at, remove this out. Yeah, so here's the next support. So if you lose, that's why gold is see kind of ranging right here. And you don't want to lose this point, because if you lose this point, anytime you see a fast move up, there's going to be a fast move down, because here there's no support. In between here and here, there's no support, nothing. It's just one line. So it was a very fast move. So if you lose this 4,000 zone, then it's coming back here, because this is where you have support. That's how the market moves. It's from support to resistance, right? So here we have, and this is the demand zone where you have the support. There's a demand zone. A lot of people are buying here. So let's put the volume here so that we can see the volume movement. Volume. Okay. So RSI, stock RSI. Okay, but I want to see the volume. Wait, let's put some more indicators. The volume. It's like the volume is showing, but it's zero. Man, that could be, yeah, that could be my settings, but I'll look into that. Most likely my settings, something is off. But the volume here will be huge volume, right? For this move, to push this all the way up. Let's see again. Net volume. What's that? I can't see it. Volume, net volume. No. Delete. Remove. Remove. Let's try again for volume. Wow, volume. Okay, that's for our volume. Price volume trend. No, I'm gonna take all those out. Sorry about that. So yeah, stochastic. Maybe just hide this. Stochastic RSI. Okay. Can we see? So you can see the over here. So stochastic RSI, it's like here at desktop. For anyone that was looking at the chart, you will just know that here is a place to sit out. Like don't buy anything, don't do anything, because Stochastics that measures the momentum, uh, it's right here at the top. It's maxed out. That's it's overbought. It's telling you that this asset is overbought. It's too much buying going on here. That means the greed is at the max. Maximum greed. It's like 100. So it at 100 or even at 90, between 90 and 100, you don't want to touch anything because many people, a lot of people are greedy. And of course, you know what happens when people are greedy, right? Okay. So yeah, that's what happened. It was around 5,500 for good one, and then of course stochastic here, and then fell all the way here. So look at where we are. We're kind of in between right now, in between. So that's the support range I told you about. Support range. Now, if you go the weekly charts, you're going to see a similar thing on the weekly chart as well. So the same concept applies. Anytime you see any asset, maybe not gold, it could be your favorite stock, whatever it is, Google or Meta or Nvidia or Micro, right? Anytime you see that they are maxed out, stochastic is like 100, RSI is like 100. That's not a good sign. It's overbought. Too much greed. Okay, so this is what's going on with gold. Just like I said, if uh, it breaks below this level, then the next support is around 3,300 to 3,400. This zone, that's the next support zone here. And here, there's no support here, just one fast move up. So that's what happened. Look at here, fast move up, fast move down. There's no support. This is where you have support, then it's going to range. If it breaks, and then another fast move down. Okay, so that's that about gold. Uh, let's see. So what's the video? Okay, after this. So, okay, that's a good question. Very good. So this is gold, right? And one thing with gold is that you have to know you are looking for safe haven. Like every time people are considering gold, what they are thinking about is safe haven. Like how can I? It's preservation. It's security. They're not looking at any volatile movement. At that point, they are looking at security. Okay. So and of course, it's been traced to the US dollar, right? Um, so um, okay, you're asking about CFD. This is on the what's the meaning? Okay, let me look that up quickly so that we have the right information, not guessing. CFD. Okay, so okay, that's a contract. So it says that it is a contract for difference in finance. So it's mostly used by traders to speculate on the price movement. So mostly, of course, something like gold, right? If you're people that are trading gold, so this is like contract differential. So I'm using trading view. That's why it's showing, because it's actually live. It's live chart, right? Showing on the contract one. Okay, so that's that about gold. Let's move on to next. What do you have next? So, okay, we've discussed gold. Okay. What's the target for the rest of 2026? Let's see if we can deduce that from the charts. So, for the rest of 2026, where is this going? Well, I've already told you. Uh, there's no definitive path that, okay, it's going this direction, but you have to know based on the pattern. So this is the support zone. It's kind of a range. It's going to range here for some time. If it breaks below the range, you know where it's going. 3,300. I already told you that. So that's what you should know. So for the rest of the year, it could range here. Just keep ranging. ranging, and then finally come down to this support. Or it could take off from here, you know, depending on what's going on with the market. It could take off from here. Uh, so it's all dependent on the US dollar interest rates and whatever Fed is doing there. Okay, let's close this. So come back to our deck here. So the next one here is oil. And I already told you there's so much politics going on with oil, but oil hits 100 and was it 110 or so, per barrel. And we're buying at the pump, some places in Canada, we're buying I think 180 per liter or 190 per liter. Uh, in the US, I think it was about $5 per gallon or so. So yeah, that was very high. What drove that? We know because of the crisis in the Middle East, right? And of course, OPEC. So OPEC is the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. In my previous video we discussed OPEC and all the countries that are part of OPEC, so you can look that up. So they decide production quota, right, for each of the member countries. So if you have a member of OPEC, like Canada is not a member, but for those countries that are members, they will determine or decide the quota per year. So okay, produce 2.5 million barrels per year or 5 million barrels per year, depending on the reserve. So, of course, that remains the single biggest swing factor for near-term pricing. So that affects the price. Now, with the Strait of Hormuz being closed and open, close, open, close, open, we don't know what's going on there. It's a huge factor in how the price has been fluctuating. Okay. Imagine demand from China and India, of course, also transition to renewable energy also impacts the oil price. So we see here supply shock. That's when we hit the 110 levels. But now things are stabilizing now. It's not as high as it used to be. It's a little bit stable than before. We are discussing about the market today. For those that are joining here, if you are joining from TikTok, so we are streaming from YouTube, so that's why I'm facing this area. But yeah, if you can see the screen that I'm sharing, if you can't see, let me know in the comment section. Just put a comment there, and I'll respond. Or if you have any question, just put in the comment section, and I'll respond. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to show you the graph, the charts for oil. It's not looking good. That's a huge price collapse from that 110. Okay. So let's see. Oh, Bitcoin. Okay. So before we leave oil, I'm going to show you the chart. So let's go to the charts for oil. Come on. The chart. Okay, right here. So this is the gold. Let's look for oil. Oil. Woohoo! So can you see that? Can you see that? I told you. You remember what I said about gold when we were looking at gold? Every time that you see an asset, going on this massive move, fast move up, then there's going to be fast move down. It's basic. It's 1 + 1 = 2, right? Fast move up. What's happened? What happened here? There's no support. It's going to find support. You hit a big resistance here and then rejected. Of course, this was fueled by the crisis in the Middle East. So about between 110 and 120 bucks. And we've not seen that since 2022. That was when we hit 125, 126 bucks. This is around February of 2022. You all know what happened in 2022. That's when inflation was at the highest in 40 years. The US was about nine, yeah, nine, yeah, 9 or 9.2 ish, and then Canada was within that same range. In some countries, it was double digits. I think in the UK, probably double digits. So that's the last time we saw oil at 125, 122. And then all of a sudden, because of the crisis in February this year, uh, in a couple of days, it jumped from 68 or 70 bucks, jump all the way to 120. That's a massive increase. Let's look. How many percent jump? Let's look at that. So from here all the way here, how many percent is that? That's 78%. Look at that. 78% increase in a couple of days. Yeah. So that's a big red flag for you to know that stay away. You know, stay away. This is not good. Impulsive move up is unsustainable. And you can see what's happening, right? Yeah, okay. Can take that off now. So you can see because it was just impulsive move, fueled by politics and everything. And I always say this: anytime you see people or an asset having this drastic, impulsive move, price running to the heavens, then that's the time to be careful. It's not a time to FOMO in, it's a time to be careful. You want to be careful at that point. You don't want to, because even though you're going to be caught at the top, a lot of people got caught at the top in different assets, you know. So you don't want to be caught here, buying anything here. And I know you're going to say, oh, I'm buying for a long time. Of course, I know that. That's what you're going to say. But guess what? Look at people that bought in 2022, right? It took 4 years to come back for those that bought here at 122. It took 4 years for them to break even. Break even. We're not talking about no increase, just to break even. It took 4 years. You don't want to be that type of an investor, where you take 4 years to break even. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't want to be that type of investor. Okay. So yeah, that's about oil. So where is it going? What's next for oil? So you can see now that it's going towards the support. It's always going to find the support. Where is the support? Where can I rest my head? Basically, that's what he's saying. Saying, I'm going to find where to rest my head. And let me see if I can draw a line here so that we can see. Feed channel. No, not there. Product channel. The product channel. So there's a support here between there's a support level between 55 and 70 bucks, 55 and 68. There's a support level here. So I believe it's going to come to this support level. This is a support zone. So it's going to come to this support zone and then find that base. Let's see if you can get that line. Brush, no, we don't need brush. Let's see. Trend line, no. So something like this. This is my own opinion. You have your own opinion. Something like this. So this is what I see. So for the rest of 2026, I see kind of looking for that support, looking for that support and then trying to retest this area, because here there's a little bit of a support here too. A little bit of a range, so to say. So that this will act as a resistance. So if you are going up, it will be a resistance. So yeah, there could be that retest of this zone somewhere and then come back down. This is my own opinion. You can go draw your own chart. It's my own opinion of what I think will happen. Okay. So yeah, this is about oil. And so you just be careful. Just be very careful. Anytime you see a fast move up for any asset, whatever it is, it's a time to be careful. Stay away. That's not the time to do anything. Just be careful and don't think that you miss out. You didn't miss out on nothing. Because that's most of the time uh we demonstrate fear, right? We are anxious. We Then you jump into what you're not supposed to jump into, and then you lose a lot of money. So just be careful. Don't rush. Don't act on emotion, impulse, all these things. Yeah. So have that self control. And this one more thing: if everybody's talking about it, then you're already late. If everybody's talking about it, then you are late to the party. Okay. So now let's move on. Time is going here. What's the time? 40, 38. Okay. We'll wrap up here. So we've looked at gold, oil. So now let's look at Bitcoin. What's going on with crypto? So let's look at Bitcoin. Uh, what's going on here with cryptocurrency? So Bitcoin, is it still the king of crypto? Yes. If you look at uh, crypto by market cap, Bitcoin is still number one. So how do you look at that? For those that don't know, okay, I'm just going to show you so that you just for your own knowledge. Yeah. So if you just go um, coin market cap. So go here. So let's just go coin market cap. Where? So this is just one of the places where you can look. There are different places. So we use CoinGecko if you want. I'm using coin market cap. So if you look here, so Bitcoin is still leading when it comes to cryptocurrency. We see the market cap, it's about 2 trillion, 2.09 trillion. So Bitcoin alone, it's about 1.21 trillion. So that's if you're looking at percentage, that's more than 50% of the entire crypto space, right? Yes, 1.2 trillion, and the total is 1 trillion. So we're looking at more than 50% of that market cap. So yeah, so the answer will be yes. Bitcoin is still king. Now let's go back to our deck here. So there are a lot of spot ETFs inflow, continue to broaden institutional buyer base. That's Bitcoin is often considered as a digital gold. When people are looking for safe haven in crypto, they don't want to deal with the altcoins. Altcoins are just alternative coin to Bitcoin. Whatever that's not Bitcoin, but it's a cryptocurrency, it's referred to an altcoin. So uh, when people look for safety or security in crypto, they look to Bitcoin. Now, is it actually safety? That's left for you to answer. You know. So, what is the bull case? That means the time of rapid growth or upward movement. Are we looking at going into another bull market very soon, or are we actually in the bear market, or are we at the bottom? If you're at the bottom, then what do you do? If you're at the top, what do you do? So we're going to look at the charts and we see how the asset has moved over the years. So since 20, let's just look from 2017. That was the first main bull run, right? 2017 and then 2021 and then 2025. So it seems to be every 4 years because there's a 4-year halving cycle. So does that mean that next bull market is going to be 2028? Is that what it means? Because we saw the top in 2027, we saw it in 2021, 2025. So we are seeing a pattern here, right? So you can do the correlation. Does that mean the next stop is going to be 20? So we saw in 2025. Oh, not even 2028, say 2029. So What does that mean for us for Bitcoin? So that means we're not going to see it up in 2029. Is that what it means? I don't know, but I'm going to show you the charts and then you can make your own decision. Okay. Um, Correlation with the Nasdaq rises when traditional market gets shaky. On-chain metrics remain the key tell for cycle positioning. So a little bit of data moving here and there. That means there is the institutional buying. We know about. I don't want to mention any names, so let's just leave that. I don't want to mention names today. So what happened at every post halving, right? So there was halving in 2024. Next halving is going to be 2028. So you see that pump after every halving. Does that mean that there's going to be another pump in 2020, 2028, 2029? What does that mean? Oh, no. Okay, let me stay on Bitcoin before I leave here and take on SpaceX. So let's look at the chart for Bitcoin. What is the chart looking like? Because from the charts you can tell the story. You will know which direction you are heading. Are you heading to the right direction, up or down? So the first time when I started learning about charts, I saw this guy online and he was saying, "Show me the charts and I will tell you the news." Like basically, just show me the charts and I will tell you what's going on. And then I was like, okay, let's put this to test. So I watched him for the first month. I was like, okay. We're gonna save this video and then I'm gonna come back to it just to prove you wrong that you're wrong. Look at what happened. Guess what? The guy was right. He was able to predict from the chart that this was going to happen. Now, does that mean that you're going to be right every time? No, but with high degree of certainty, like 90%, I think that's very good. So he was right. He was just saying this is going to happen, this is going to happen, and exactly what happened. So after a couple of years, I realized that uh, the chart can actually tell you the news. So we're going to look at the chart, and I will show you what I mean by that. So where are we? So let's come back here. Let's go to the charts. Let's look for Bitcoin. So this is coin market cap. For those that don't know, coin market cap. Sorry. This is trading view. And you can use this to look up any asset you want to look up. It could be uh, gold, oil, silver, or general stocks like Apple, Netflix, Tesla, indices like the Dow Jones, the XY, Nasdaq, S&P 500, whatever you want to look at, you can use this to look at it. Trading view. Okay, so what are we looking at? Okay, Bitcoin. Let's go. Bitcoin. Where are you? Here's the. Okay, so yeah, I have a lot of drawings on here. Probably need to hide some things because so that we can clean up this chart. Yeah. Oh no. There are too many things to clean up. Even all these guys need to go. Delete. Just give me a second. Let me clean up the charts and then we can go. Okay, delete. There's still one left. Delete. So all these lines, like all these trend lines, I drew them since last year. Like they are not new. And just like the guy said, show me the charts and I will tell you the news. So from the charts, you will actually know what's going to happen. Like you literally can tell, you can predict that this is what will happen. So what are we saying? What does that mean for Bitcoin? I'll show you what it means. So here, this is the chart since when? Since 2019. You know, I would love to show you 2017 top. But okay, let's just leave that. Let's start from 2021 because basically If you can read and understand the chart within this 4-year cycle, or at least 8-year time frame, then you will know, you have a good understanding of what I'm talking about. So 2021, we hit the top here at 60, 62-ish. And then there was another attempt. It's called a blow off top. So swing failure pattern, SFP. That means you try to reclaim the top, then with one big move, and then you fail. So, and when you fail with that attempt, what's going to happen is that there's going to be a massive dump because you exerted all your effort. I'm just explaining it in literally like everyday concept, everyday time, so that you understand. The asset has expended all efforts. So there are no buyers at this point. Over here, there's a demand zone. People are buying. People are buying. When people buy, the price increases. There's high demand. So demand and supply. And what happens when people don't buy? When you don't see no buyer, you start to sell. You start to sell. Then you don't see no buyers anymore. What do? You reduce your price. Okay, you know what? I still want to sell, but there's no one is buying at this price. What am I going to do? I'm going to reduce the price. That's what happens when price decreases. See, this is a big dump that happened in 2022. So we hit the top here, the bottom here in 2022. And I told you that the bottom is not going to form with one big dump. And then you see one big move up. That's not what happens. The bottom is normally a flat line. Flat line. So if you've not seen a flat line yet, just know at the back of your mind that maybe we are not at the bottom yet. Because that's where I'm going with this. If you don't see a flat line, look through all the other assets. There has to be a flat line. That's a what do you call it? Consolidation, right? Accumulation. It's consolidating. It's accumulating. It's people are buying. There's a demand. So it's going to form that it's going to consolidate around this area. People start accumulating, and then you see the move. So it's going to be flat line. Now, if you see a line like this, a one long candle, you think the bottom is in. The bottom is not in yet because there's no accumulation, there's no consolidation, there's no trend, there's no support. There has to be a flat line of support. Like you see it a couple of weeks and months and even years. You are consolidating, you are accumulating before you see a move. Then you know that yes, bottom in. So here, the first touch at the bottom was at June of 2022. It started accumulating, from there. Then the last push, this was the last push around November. And I believe that was the FTS collapse. For those that are in the crypto space, you know about the FTS collapse. And also with the Terra Luna, what happened with Luna. So, yeah. And then finally, we hit that 16,000-ish. And then that was it. Bottom is in. So if you've not seen this flat line, just know that most likely like 90% or 80% bottom is not in. Before you see any big move up, there's going to be that flat. Now let's look at this. In okay, let's go here. So 2018, can you see here? You have to form this. This is on the daily, right? So from December, from December all the way to March. So 4 months of accumulation. Yeah, four months of accumulation. You're looking at that. See the early April, and then that was the move up. And then we know what happened in 2020, that big dump. And then, of course, another accumulation, and then rockets. So same thing is going to happen, right? So you accumulate up, accumulate again, consolidate, and then up. So why am I saying that? Now let's come back to the present time. Now we're in 2026, and today is July 1st. What are you seeing on the chart? We are seeing a big move down. Now, if you look at this trend line, the moment we lost this, the moment we broke below this, you already know there's trouble for Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin, you are in trouble because you've broken an uptrend. This is an uptrend, a trend line that shows that this asset was in an upward direction. This was since 2023. So for 5 years, sorry, for 2 years, September 2023 to around November or October 2025. Yeah, within that 2 year period, it was in an uptrend, just going. So, what do you mean by an uptrend? You see a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. So then you know that you're in an uptrend. So there's a high here, there's a low here, there's another high here, another low here. So you see that the higher high, then higher lows. Here you see another high, and then this was a low, but it broke below the trend line. So you see there's a trend line here. It broke below the trend line, and that's not good. And now we formed. So instead of forming a, a higher high, now we form a lower high. So now this has turned to a lower high. So we are seeing the lower high now, which is not good. So lower high, not good. So you're already in a downtrend. So now it has turned from the uptrend. Here is an uptrend, and now you're in the downtrend. Now let's clean this. Let's clean the. Uh, let's give a second. Let me clean up all this so that we can have a clean chart. Oh no, it's not cleaning. Oh, are you kidding me? Hold on. Okay, I'll clean this up so that we have a clean chart. Okay, excellent. So another way to look at this is that we are forming an a head and shoulder pattern. And when you have a head and shoulder pattern, it's not good. What do you mean by head and shoulder pattern? So you can call this one shoulder. 'Cause this could be the left shoulder, and then the head. And now I thought this was the right shoulder, but it's looking like this is actually the right shoulder. So that's not good. Head and shoulder pattern. They're all reversal patterns. Either it's an M pattern, head and shoulder pattern. It's all reversal. It means it's coming down. Have we seen that before? Yes. Look at here. You see a little bit of, you can even call it a head and shoulder pattern, although this is not a very good one, but this is more like an M pattern. See, an M like this, M pattern, and same thing, M pattern, reversal. So either it's head and shoulder or it's an M. They are all reversal patterns. That means the asset is reversing in the direction of movement. So let's delete all these. Clean the charts. Okay, so how are we going to tell or know when Bitcoin will form the bottom? So we're going to look at some of the indicators to see if we can tell. You know, go back. Come on. Okay, so we're going to look at the indicators to show if we can tell. So let's look at the stochastic and the RSI, those two. The RSI and okay. Let's show the stochastic as well. Stochastic is here. So let's see, we can use this to tell. Okay, let's hide the stochastic. Let's just use the RSI, relative strength index. So it shows the momentum, what's going on with the market. Now, this is one key that will show you the bottom. One key. I like to look at this on the weekly. So let's change the time frame to week, 1 week time frame. Okay. So time frame now changed to the weekly. Now let's go here. So reversal patterns also happens when the asset wants to like change direction upward, right? So you can see that so you look for a bullish divergence. What you want to look for? That's a bullish divergence. So what is a bullish divergence? Let's see, so that you see bullish divergence. Okay, let's show you the pattern, what it looks like. So that's what you look for on the charts. Okay, so I've seen an example here. Let's use this one. So there's a regular bullish divergence. So on the price, you're going to see a lower low on the price action. So the price action tending down, whereas indicator like the RSI will go up. So you're going to have a lower price, but then RSI will not have a lower price. Sorry, will not have a lower value. The RSI will have a higher value from the previous one. Then you know that it is forming a bullish divergence. That means it's about to move up. Massive move up is coming. That's what it's saying. So can we use that on the chart here? Yes, we can use that. Now let me show you something. So this is the price action in the weekly time frame. So if you look at the price here, in June of 2022, we hit that the first was it 17 or 16,000 ish, 18,000. Then look at what happened with the FTS collapse. There was another big dump here. So I'm going to use a let's see the line. So price move here to a lower value. Now watch this. Price move. There's a lower price here and there's a lower low here. So price is still trending down. But look at what happened to the RSI. RSI move lower here. Let's draw a line. Lower here and then higher one. So when we form this, the second lower low in price, the RSI was already trending up with a higher low. That's a bullish divergence. It was screaming. The bottom is in. The bottom is in. For those that want to buy, this is the time. The bottom is in. But of course, people are not paying attention. People are paying attention to noise. They're not paying attention to the charts. The bottom is in. And you know what happened from there? From November 2022, what happened? Look at that. From 17,000 all the way to 126,000. So the same thing. So look at this on the weekly. Every time that you see that bullish divergence, then you know that a big move is coming. Why do I take the weekly? Because the weekly shows the higher time frame. So if you see that on the daily, of course, there could be a little movement, probably within 1 month or so. But when you see it on the weekly charts, it could be in years. Like a big move like that will take for a year or two is coming. So can we apply the same rule to 2026? Let's go to the chart, 2026. So I'm going to show you something here. In 2026, what are we seeing? Pay attention. Remember, if you are seeing lower low in price action and higher low in RSI, most likely the bottom could be in. So let's draw again. So lower price here. What are we seeing? There's a lower low on the price action. We hit 60,000 and now we hit 58,000. Now there's really not much difference between 60,000 and 58,000, just $2,000 difference, right? So for me, yeah, I know it's a lower low, but it's not, a very big move of a lower low. So, but let's apply the same thing that we applied in 2022. So you can see here that we are forming a lower low in price action, but the RSI is forming a higher low. It's telling you that we are approaching the bottom. I am approaching the bottom. It's screaming again. I am approaching the bottom. Does that mean that the bottom is in? Not really, but it's telling you, pay attention. Start paying attention to this asset because it's approaching the bottom. Now, to be clear here, we can still see a flush out, on Bitcoin. We can see a flush out, probably something like this, that could come back within. This is my own opinion. So okay, let's delete that. Draw again. But there could be a flush out to this level, which is 44,000. That's my own opinion. There could be a flush out to this level. And that's when it's going to show the actual bottom for me. That's my own opinion. Before now consolidating, and by 2027, we start seeing that upward movement. That's what I think. That's what it's my own opinion. You have your own opinion too. So what I'm thinking is that between now and October or November of 2026, we're going to see that bottom form. By then, we're going to see this line will be very clear. So this line will be very clear by then. Now, okay, let's put a let's put a base around this. So at this point, we can still see a little move up, but I think bottom will be somewhere for me around October to November of 2026. We have that bottom for me, and then that move up somewhere there. And that's when we're going to see this line. Let's draw a new line, a new trend line. So that's when we're going to see a new line that will form like this, something like this. And the RSI at that point is still going to be something like this around October, November of 2026. It's still going to be something like this. So you're still going to have that lower low in price action on the weekly, but then there's higher low in RSI. Then that's a good indication that the bottom is in. The bottom is in. Now, what happened the last time the bottom was in on the weekly chart? What happened? We went from 18,000 all the way to 120 to 126,000 thereabout. And that was from 2022, November of 2022, all the way to September of 2025. So almost 3 years. It took almost 3 years to get there, from 18,000 to 126,000. Do you know how many X that is? Do you know? Let's look at it. How many X? How many X? So we're using a ruler now to measure from 18,000 to 124 or 126,000. That's 674%. 674% increase within 3-year period. Now, does that mean that we're going to see the same thing when we have the bottom in this year, around October to December of 2026? Are we going to see another 600% run? I don't know, but pay attention to the charts. Okay, so this is it for Bitcoin. If you have any question, put it in the chat. Those right here. If you have any question, put it in the chat. This is completely for educational purposes. I'm sharing my own opinion, not a financial advice. Okay, so now let's look at SpaceX before we wrap up here. So we started with gold. From gold, we looked at oil, and then oil. After oil, we look at Bitcoin, and now we are done with Bitcoin. I've already told you what to watch out for to know when the bottom will be in, and what happens when the bottom is in. Oh, okay, I just remember something now for Bitcoin before I leave. So there's also the fear and greed index. When the fear and greed is at the lowest, there's a question about inflation. What does it mean, hedging against inflation? Yes, of course, people consider it as a hedge against inflation. But the main question is it actually a hedge against inflation? Because when you want to hedge something against inflation, you're looking at safety, right? Security. You consider something like gold. People call Bitcoin the digital gold. Oh, this is the new gold. This is new gold. Okay, is it new gold? What happens to the price? Is it stable? Is it collapsing every 4 years. So, but this is one thing though. We were at 18,000 in 2022, 18,000. Remember that? And now, go back. Now we are at 60,000. So, yes, I would say if you look at that, you can still call it a hedge against inflation because from 18,000 to 60,000 is a 254% increase. Whereas if you left your money in cash somewhere, well, I won't say cannot. I'm just saying, yeah, there's it's a volatile asset. To be uh, very clear, it's a volatile asset, and there's a huge swing. But what we are seeing is that even after the big decline that we've seen from the top, like we've seen a 50% drop from the top, it's still more than where it was uh, 4 years ago in 2022. So you can use that to form your own judgment. So it's still 254% from 18,000 where that we saw in 2022. And we already 50% draw from the top at 125,000. Now we are 62,000 or 60,000, right? So 50% drop and it's still high. So yeah, depending on the way you're looking at it. So yeah, I would say it's a hedge, but it's not a very good hedge. Yeah, it's not a good hedge. Okay, now let's look at I was talking about the fear and greed index. So every time fear and greed is added, like you have to look at the place where you have the worst fear, the lowest fear, the highest fear ever, and you know that the bottom is in. Now let me show you the chart so that let's look at fear and greed index. So who is this guy? Fear and greed index, market sentiment. I want for crypto. Okay, I want the one for crypto. Okay, so see by comparison we go because it's not very good. Yes, by comparison we go this not exactly. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got that. Okay, so let's look at the fear and greed index. So you can see here, fear and greed is at 11. That's good. That's good because that's telling you that you are approaching the bottom. When you see the maximum fear ever, like 4, 5, then most likely the bottom is in. So if you look at the fear and greed charts here, let's go max. So remember I told you in 2022, the fear and greed index, the maximum fear in June of 2022 was 6. And guess what happened? Between June and November, that's when the bottom was formed. So now in fear and greed was 5 in January and April. Sorry, February of 2026. That's when we saw that big dump, the first big dump that we had. It was 5. So fear and greed is back again somewhere here at 11. So you want it to be that like anywhere in single digits, you are approaching the bottom. When you see fear and greed, like you are seeing the maximum fear. Everyone is scared. Warren Buffett, what he said, right? Be greedy when others are fearful. Be fearful when others are greedy. It's the same thing. When you see a lot of fear, that means everybody's selling. People are running away. That's bottom is very close. But when you see that everybody's buying something, then stay away from it because most likely you're going to be the exit liquidity. Stay away from that. Run away. Don't buy. That's my own opinion. That's my own approach. That's what works for me. I don't know what works for you. I don't know if you're the guy that always buy when everybody's buying. Well, good luck. Good luck with that. Okay, so that's that for Bitcoin. Now let's go back to deck here. So lastly, let's look at SpaceX before we wrap up here. So SpaceX. Yeah, there's so much uh, going on around SpaceX. We see the largest IPO in history, or so. Lots of money coming into the market. Uh, we see how revenue growth with Starlink, competition with Blue Origin, all the advantages of the SpaceX and all that. Now, I want you to pay attention to something here. It's a new thing. Of course, SpaceX has been there, but it's not been open to the public. But now it's open to the public. So that means you can buy a piece of it, you can own a piece of it, and probably hold that for the next 10 years, 20 years. And people are kind of looking at history. Oh, Tesla, we miss out on Tesla. And now there's SpaceX. So we don't want to miss out on SpaceX. Now, don't move like that, because when you move like that, you're moving by emotion. You are being driven, you are factoring. Like, look at the fundamentals. Don't just say, oh, Tesla did very well. Previous, well, how do they say this? Previous success is not an indication of future performance, something like that. So it doesn't mean that SpaceX will do very well because Tesla did very well. It's no, don't look at it like, look at the fundamental. What actually forms SpaceX? What is it all about? Then use that to make your own decision. Like I always say, do your own research. So of course, I've said this, it's not just another stock, it's way more than that. Represent commercialization of space itself, future public debut, where this already happened, and people now have access because it's already in the stock market, you can buy. And also, I believe it's going to be tied to pension or so. You have to consult your own financial advisor for this. So, one more thing here, I want to make this comment. Of course, I don't have anything against SpaceX and Elon, but don't buy anything that is overhyped. Don't buy. Just wait. Be patient. I've been a victim before. That's why I'm saying this. So for those that are watching from TikTok, you also pay attention. Anything that is overhyped is good for you to be careful, because like this IPO, right? It's overhyped. Like people have been talking about it for a long time, and then now it's here. Boom. Now I'm going to show you the chart of what it looks like today. Like when it debuted, I think it went up to 122 or so. Yeah, about 122. And right now it's currently trading below 180 also, or 175. I will show you the chart so that you see. So it's always good to wait, let it cool off. It's too hot, let it cool off, and then you can see from that bottom support. And then of course you are buying for the long time, right? Long time. You say, okay, I'm going to hold this for 10 years, 20 years, then you can now start buying so that your average cost, right, will be low. I know some people say, me, I don't mind, even if it's 200 bucks per share or so, I'm going to buy. Even if it's 300 bucks, I'm going to buy because I'm buying for a long time. Well, that actually increases your average cost. You want to reduce that. You want to reduce your cost as much as you can. So don't keep buying things that are overpriced or at the top. Okay, so let's look at let's look for SpaceX. So let's look for SpaceX. So space. Okay. So look for SpaceX. Okay. So we are on the weekly. So I'm going to change to the daily. Daily time frame. So right now we are trading below, SpaceX is trading below 160 bucks. Now on the debut, it went from I think debut at probably 150. So let's use a ruler so that you see what I'm talking about. So for the debut, it went from 150 to 224 or something, about more than 50, almost 50% increase in one day. Sorry, was that one day? No, in yeah, probably a couple of days, right? Yeah, it went from 150 to well 124. So yeah, almost 50% And look at what is happening now. Look at what's happening. So that's what happens, right? Because it's too hot. Look at all the people that bought here. Now, is it going to come back here? Of course, it will come back. I'm just to give you a context, right? But it takes time. It's going to cool off because it's too hot. It's going to cool off here, and it's going to find support because it needs support. Nothing just goes up like rocket. Yeah, well, that's actually that's funny because this is actually about rockets. So yeah, it went up like rocket, but then of course it's coming back. That's why you have the reusable boosters. So it's coming back now. That's a joke. For SpaceX fans, don't come for me. So you're going to see something like this on SpaceX. You're going to see something like this. In my own opinion, this is my own opinion. I believe it's going to go below 140. I believe it's going to go below 140 somewhere here. That's what I believe. It's going to find somewhere between 140, 130 before finally, in some around 2027. Oh no. Come on. But yeah, sometime around 2027, then it will start find that. I want to move these charts. Sorry. Okay, great. So we're gonna see something like this. This is my own opinion. There you're gonna see something like that, like that, like that. So that's what I'm thinking. But of course, does it mean that it has to follow this pattern? No, it's just my own opinion. But it means that it will form a base. It has to consolidate a time of accumulation before finding that momentum to come back up again. And that's around 2027 for me. That's what I'm seeing on the charts. So that's why it's always good to wait. It can even come back 50% off from the top at 122 or 124. It can come back to 110 or 112, before finally coming around. Now, is this special to SpaceX? No. Every IPO, it be crypto or stocks, they say this when there's a debut, right? You're going to see that massive price rally, and then you're going to see a dump. It's just that's how it works, because it means that a lot of people that bought in the private sale, in the pre-sale. So there's a pre-sale and there's also a private sale. So those guys actually bought at I don't know, it debuted at 150, right? So probably they bought at, who knows, but at very cheaper rate, probably at $15, $15, and now 15 bucks, and then it's at 150 on the stock market. That's already 10x. Or what about people that actually bought 1.5, 1.5, and then on the stock market it's at 150? That's 100x. So yeah, those people, they will sell. They would say, "Oh wow, it's 100x." So if people that invested 100,000, or let's just go with 1,000. People invested 1,000, 100x, that's 100,000, right? So yeah, and of course that's from the pre-sale, private sale. The big boys, institutional investors and whatnot, big banks and the wealthy, the 1% or the 1%, right? That bought in. So yeah, you're going to see something like that. So like I said, it's not like special to SpaceX. We see this with any new asset that comes. I've seen this in crypto before. I've seen this even on the stock market. Facebook. Let's look at Facebook. When Facebook debuted, to show you that what I'm saying is not like in isolation, right? Let's look at Facebook. I think the debut was in 20. When did Facebook debut? 2012, right? Yeah, 2012. So look at this. Look at what I'm telling you now. So Facebook debut, and it went up all the way to 44 bucks. Now look at what happened after the debut. Look at what happened. It lost all those gains and found the support. You have to find the support every single time. I've told you this. That's why you don't FOMO. You have to look for the support. And it found the support here. Look at it. within the zone, you know. What is that? So from 44 to 20 bucks or to 22, thereabout. That's 50% drop, from the top. So it's not something that is common or specific to SpaceX. Every new asset that comes to the stock market or debut, it happens like that because the early investors they will try to sell to cash out their money, and then of course, when you keep selling, I mean, a lot of people are selling, the price is going to drop. Uh, so it happened to Facebook, during the debut. It happened to Facebook, and we see this. Let's go to where is that? So yeah, after you form that support, like you're gonna find the base, and of course you take off from there. And that's why people say, "Oh, I'm buying for the long term." And of course, that's why it's good to hold for the long time, right? Because look at this: people that bought at 50 bucks, bought Facebook at 50 bucks or 40, yeah, 50 bucks thereabout, and then they drop all the way to 20 bucks. You don't sell, you just hold, because this is a good investment. I'm going to hold it for the long time, for 10 years, for 20 years. So since 2012, look at what happened. It never came back. It found the support and then took off from there. And look at today, where we are. From that 50 bucks, now we are where? It went up to 700 bucks, and now we are 600 bucks. So look at that. So from 50 bucks to uh, 50 bucks to 600 bucks. Now, and okay, this is another thing I want to point out. Even those that bought here after that sell off, they are more better off, right? Because they bought at 20 bucks. 20 bucks. And now we are 600. That's 30x. You see? That's 30x. So that's why I'm telling you now, don't FOMO into anything. Just wait, be patient. And then take advantage of the dips in the market, because after every couple of years there's going to be a correction, just like we see 2018 there was a correction, 2022 another correction. So take advantage of those correction. And even people that bought here for Facebook uh, at 116, now we are 600. That's almost 5x, right? So yeah, take advantage of those dips, and that's how the rich get richer. That's so don't FOMO into any IPO or anything like that. Just be patient, take advantage of uh, the dips that happen in the market. There's a new IPO coming up in another country that I don't want to mention, but yeah, I hear a lot of people, they're already FOMOing into it. They want to buy, they want to buy this, want to buy that. Just be careful out there, because there's always going to be another opportunity. Always going to be another opportunity. Always. Don't think that, oh, I miss out on this and then I'm done. No, there's always going to be another one. So don't tie yourself to any stock or any asset. Okay, so I think we've covered all the key issues for today. Oh, uh, so yeah, I was saying about the what's the connection between these assets. So we discussed gold, oil, Bitcoin, SpaceX. What's the connection? You tell me in the comment section. You see any connection between them? Hedge against inflation, gold, then digital hedge. Then we're looking at crypto. So market is on the edge. What is coming next? There's a big move that is coming. 2022, 2026 buyers for gold. Of course, well, we are seeing a massive correction, but people are saying, oh, they see more upside, so maybe bullish. Oil is ranging. There's a correction going on, but of course, we see the key driver, OPEC, and the crisis will impact the oil price. Bitcoin, Bitcoin is kind of correcting right now, and we are approaching the bottom. We're not at the bottom yet. There's ETF inflows, institutional adoption is still going on, and then for SpaceX, we see that, of course, it's a new bride, right? So it's still on honeymoon. Uh, lots of, I would say, lots of interest at the moment. A good valuation. Uh, it's a lot of prospects, but yeah, be careful. So yeah, that's about it for today. Thank you for joining us. We are so yeah. You stay informed, manage your risks, and position yourself wisely. Take advantage of the correction that you see in the market. Like this video, subscribe, share it, and always add your comments so that we know that you are following. And if you have any question, ask your question. We're going to respond. So this is Skillblend Learning Center. If you're not following us on YouTube, please do so. Subscribe. And we're also on TikTok. We are on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook. So look for us TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Also streaming live on TikTok here for those that are on TikTok. So that's why you see this. So thank you, uh, TikTok viewers. If you have any question, let me know as well. We are rounding up here. Okay. Thank you so much. So yeah, YouTube, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a long time I went live. I think the last time was like in, is it March or April? So I will try and be doing this every week. I will try every week. If I can't meet up with every week, I will try say it's laughing. I will try every 2 weeks, But yeah, it's been a long time. But I will try. We'll see. It's summer, a lot of activity, a lot of traveling and vacations and stuff. So much going on. But we'll see how it goes. So for now, thank you so much. And we'll see you on payday. Thank you. God bless you. Bye.